Let's talk about what happened in this exchange between Attorney General Pam Bondi and Representative Rosa DeLauro.
DeLauro?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Just a quick note before I get to my questions. Fentanyl seizures are down 30% compared to last year, and that data is coming from the Customs and Border Patrol, CBP. I don't make it up, but fentanyl seizures are down. At your confirmation hearing, you asserted that you will do everything in your power to prevent illegal gun runners in our country. Your budget request for the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, ATF, proposes a cut of 26% below the current level. How can you justify such a massive cut without inevitably weakening ATF's ability to help our state and local law enforcement fight illegal gun trafficking? How many ATF law enforcement officers and industry operations investigators do you anticipate will be lost to attrition as a result of this funding reduction you are proposing?
So, I am a career prosecutor, and I believe in keeping America safe, making America safe. First, what we're doing is ATF is going to be brought over with DEA. Everyone knows, everyone sitting up here, guns and drugs go together. They go together. We're going to make it more efficient. What I will tell you will not be happening is ATF agents will not be knocking on the doors of legal gun owners in the middle of the night asking them about their guns. They're going to be out on the streets. If I can finish, they're going to be out on the streets.
I have three
No,
minutes.
you asked me a question.
I did, and
you asked me a question,
and you haven't
I'm gonna
answered
answer
my
it.
question.
So they're going to be out on the streets working
You haven't
hand in hand
answered my
with
question.
DEA
You
to
haven't
violate.
answered. Mr. Chairman, I'd like an answer to my question. And the question is not being answered. How many ATF law enforcement officers and industry operations investigators do you anticipate will be lost to attrition as a result of the funding reduction you are proposing? You are proposing a 26% cut to ATF for fiscal year 2026, as well as a 4.4% cut to DEA. So you're going to merge the two agencies together, and then you're going to shortchange their resources, so neither one of them will be able to do the job that they have been designed to do. You've got a 34% cut to the high-intensity drug trafficking areas program, no dedicated money at all for the Organized Crime Drug Enforcement Task Force. So, my view, it's fair to say that the Trump administration proposal shortchanges federal efforts to stop illegal gun trafficking and federal efforts to stop the flow of dangerous illegal drugs like fentanyl.
As I was attempting to answer your question very calmly, unlike you,
Excuse me, Madam Attorney General. Answer yes or no. Tell me what the numbers are. I don't want to hear all of your filibuster about this. Go ahead, please. Tell us the numbers.
So we are reorganizing. ATF agents want to be out on the street.
Okay,
working
let me
with
answer the
DEA
question for you.
agents.
I'm going to answer it for you. Page, Mr. Chairman, you give me a certain amount of time, and I have a high respect for you, but I don't have to listen, nor do my colleagues have to listen to a filibuster when it's a simple question. But I have an answer to your question. It's page 146 of the department's fiscal year 2026 budget, and the performance summary explicitly says, and let me quote, ATF will eliminate 541 industry operation investigators, reducing ATF's capacity to regulate the firearms and explosive industries by approximately 40% in fiscal year 2026. ATF will perform fewer regulatory inspections. And the department summary goes on to say, and let me quote, ATF anticipates a reduction of approximately 284 support personnel and 186 agents based on historical attrition patterns, and these personnel cuts will impact ATF across various functions, unquote. If the capacity to regulate firearms industry is reduced by 40%, if you are losing 186 ATF law enforcement agents on top of that, it is clear the direction you are headed with this budget, and that's what it is, isn't it? The proposal will weaken our ability to stop gun trafficking and it will greatly reduce ATF support for state and local law enforcement that helps them prevent and solve violent crimes. It's a bad proposal.
Do you want to hear my answer in 3 seconds? You mentioned regulatory functions. We will not be having ATF agents go to the doors of gun owners in the middle of the night asking them about their guns, period. They will be out on the streets with DEA, guns and drugs.
How many
go
are
together.
gone?
It will be attrition. We are not firing agents. They will be working
How many
with
have taken
DEA.
attrition?
Can I tell you that they all want to be on the streets? They want to be doing their jobs. They want to be
But you're getting them
seizing
off
guns.
the streets.
They want
You're getting
to.
them
We're
off the
putting
streets.
them on the
And-
streets.
and
They want to be working with
you,
DEA.
you are getting them off the
will be
streets. There is no
efficient.
clear. And Mr.
We will
Chairman,
be
I yield back my
efficient.
time. I yield back my time. Let's get some answers here.
This wasn't just a budget hearing. This was a stress test. A test of whether the administration could explain, plainly, honestly, and directly, why it is proposing to gut the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives while claiming with a straight face that it's serious about stopping illegal gun trafficking and violent crime. And spoiler alert, it failed that test spectacularly. This wasn't about personalities. It wasn't about tone. It wasn't about who interrupted whom. It was about priorities. When the Trump administration proposes deep cuts to ATF, cuts to DEA, cuts to high-intensity drug trafficking programs, and zeroes out organized crime task forces, it is making a choice, a deliberate one. And no amount of rhetoric about legal gun owners changes the basic math. Fewer agents means less enforcement, and less enforcement means more illegal guns slipping through the cracks. That's not ideology, that's cause and effect. What made this exchange so revealing wasn't just the numbers, it was the discomfort. You could hear it every time the question was repeated. You could see it every time Bondi tried to pivot away. Because once the facts were laid out plainly, the entire narrative fell apart. The administration wants credit for being tough on crime, but toughness isn't a slogan. It's staffing, it's funding, it's infrastructure. It's showing up with the resources necessary to do the job you claim is essential. You cannot meaningfully fight illegal gun trafficking while slashing the agency responsible for regulating firearms. You cannot claim to support law enforcement while pulling the rug out from under the investigators they rely on. And you cannot promise safety while quietly accepting a 40% reduction in regulatory capacity. Rosa DeLauro didn't raise her voice because she enjoys confrontation. She raised it because the answers mattered, and because the refusal to answer was the answer. This hearing showed us something crucial about how power operates right now. When policies are unpopular, officials lean on talking points. When numbers are damning, they lean on distractions. When the consequences are real, they hope the public won't notice. But hearings like this pull back the curtain. They show that budget choices are moral choices. They show that you can't outsource public safety to buzzwords. And they show that oversight still matters, especially when those in charge would rather change the subject than confront the impact of their decisions. At the end of the day, the question wasn't complicated. The answer just wasn't convenient. If you found this breakdown useful, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. Do you think cutting ATF like this makes communities safer, or does it put politics ahead of public safety? I want to hear what you think.